This is the Flabbergasted Podcast, where we just can't believe you haven't seen it.
Every episode, we discuss a movie that one of us has seen and the other hasn't.
And sometimes that neither of us have seen.
Follow us on Instagram
At flabberpod.
and subscribe in your podcast app of choice. I'm your host, Jessica.
I'm your host, Rogie. Let's get to it.
Hey folks, it's Rachel and Jess here.
Hi.
We are back to talk about The Hunger Games Catching Fire. If you haven't listened to our first episode, go ahead and pop back through the Flabbergasted episodes and find it and take a listen before you join us for today. So this is the second one in the Hunger Games series. It came out in 2013 and was directed by Francis Lawrence.
Is that the same person that directed the first one?
Oh, great question. I don't remember.
Okay.
I am not very good with directors and producers and
Okay, I'm going to grab my phone and look it up while you give us the rest of the
actors and all of that. So, yeah. Okay. So, for this one, the theme line is, remember who the enemy is. Katniss Everdeen has returned home safe after winning the 74th annual Hunger Games, along with fellow tribute Peeta Mellark. Winning means that they must turn around and leave their family and close friends and embark on a victor's tour of the districts. Along the way, Katniss senses that a rebellion is simmering, but the capital is still very much in control as President Snow prepares for the 75th annual Hunger Games, the Quarter Quell, a competition that could change Panem forever.
Okay, different director.
Okay. Could you sense that?
I think probably so, but I don't really know for sure. I think they change up directors when they are telling the story in a different way, or when they're shooting them maybe back to back or really quickly with each other and the director can't do both. I don't know. Those are not official opinions, or those are not official fact. Those are my opinions.
I feel like I definitely noticed a change in some of the things, but I wasn't sure if that was just because they had a bigger budget for this.
It's a different story, too.
It's a different story. They have a bigger budget. I feel like some of the shooting was a little crisper, but again, it could have been the style of things, and they were in slightly different settings. So,
and you said 2 years difference?
This one was 2013.
Oh, and the Hunger Games was March 12th. March 2012. Sorry, guys. March 2012. So about a year and a half. So that's interesting.
Which, works out timeline-wise because this is the next year of the Hunger Games. So, they need to do it kind of quickly just to kind of keep them young because Katniss is 16.
It felt older, though.
Because of, the looks
felt
of
more mature.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing.
Just this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's also because the victors are different. Because the people that are in the Quarter Quell, the tributes are different because of how they're pulling them.
Yeah,
so
there's maturity
it
that's brought to it.
Changes the atmosphere.
Peeta and Katniss have they've gone through a traumatic event. They have different scars and issues and triggers that are with them now.
To just go ahead and jump right into things, I really liked how they opened on Gale and Katniss hunting in the woods because I feel like that was very similar to how they opened the last movie. And so it really gave us some differences. You could just see right off the bat how things are different from a year prior to how they are now. And so we get to see them talking. We get to see, I think, a great showing of PTSD and what that looks like with trauma with Katniss when she shoots an arrow and then she has flashbacks to the games. And so I think we're really just put right into this is where Katniss is in life and this is what's going on. She's got some turmoil with her bestie. She's got this PTSD she's working through, and now she's got to go on victory tour.
Is she working through it? I'm going to go with no. I'm going to say she's experiencing it for sure.
Yes, that she was experiencing it. What are your thoughts on kind of this whole, what they tried to make into this love triangle of Katniss, Gale, and Peeta? Where have you come out with that now that you're 2 films in?
They're all too young to be having a love triangle.
Fair.
Just because there's so much going on, they don't even really know enough about themselves to know enough about each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think, and I don't remember which movie this is coming from, but Gale has a moment where Katniss tries to kiss him or something like that. And he's like, I knew you would do that because I'm feeling crappy. And that's just your response.
Yeah.
It's not really, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's not really a reflection of how you feel about me, but really a reaction to how I'm feeling. And this is how you fix it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very insightful for him to notice. And also, like, hey, stop burning the torch for her because she doesn't know herself enough to know if she's with you or if she's with Peeta. Like, she doesn't know. She just wants the people around her to stop hurting.
Yeah.
And she can't even think about it in a deeper way than that because she's still at that basic, like, I want people to stop being in pain kind of thing. That's my opinion on the love triangle piece.
They definitely make it more of a love triangle in the movie. Like it, I mean, obviously there's two boys that are wanting her affections in the books, but I feel like they definitely kind of doctor it up for the movie standpoint of things. And since I'm a book girly, that's just kind of what I lean towards for it. But I just kind of wanted to see what your take was now that you've kind of seen it because Gale didn't start having affections for her pretty much until Peeta came into play. And
that's the way they shot it and what they wanted us to be left with. But I think it would be reasonable that she and Gale are friends because they're going through similar circumstances.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be romantic if there's nothing romantic there.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just a romance of convenience because they're both in the same instance at the same time and they just think that they have to be romantic, but they don't really. Like,
yeah. Here's the deal. Love Katniss, but she's oblivious to almost everything that's going on. She has no idea. Like, she just has such a scope of like, this is what she's focused on that like not anything, but like a chunk of what's outside of it. She doesn't think that the town even like really cares about her when she's reaped the first time. And like, she's got all of these people in her corner, but she just doesn't see it that way. And so that's really
like that. I mean, I don't like it because it's annoying, but I like that because I think it's realistic.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, she's a teenager. She's a 16, 17-year-old girl. Like, this is where her this space is. Like,
and sometimes it's hard to step outside yourself a little bit and think about what you're doing. I mean, she has a hard time wrapping her head around that for anything other than whatever her sister's name is.
Prim.
Sorry. So she knows how to think about what she's doing and how it mostly is going to affect Prim.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really think about what she's doing and how it is going to affect anybody else or what anybody else is doing and how that's going to affect her. She's consistently living in a state of reaction.
Oh, yeah. All the way.
And she hasn't really had the luxury of being able to not.
I feel like especially in this movie, you see that even more so because like she gets home from the games. She gets to be home for a little bit. Now she's got to go on this Victor's tour. And then, she's just bouncing from one thing to the next as we continue to go through the movie. I mean, it's just, she doesn't have she had a couple months off, but like, it's just kind of going and going.
Yeah.
So we see President Snow. He comes to her house.
Also, what does a couple months off even look like for her? She's still hunting. She's still trying to provide for her family. Like, does being a Victor just automatically get them food?
So yeah, they get. Okay. They live in Victor's village, so they now have a house that they're not having to like pay taxes or whatever.
And her whole family gets the benefits.
Yes. So like her mom and her sister live with her in that home. Peeta is like across the street and Hamage, I think, is like next door or something. Mm-hmm. Like they're all very close because they're the only ones in the Victor's village. I think there might be 12 houses there and there's 3 houses that are occupied.
Yeah.
They get a monthly stipend of gold jewels type thing. So like what we don't see is like they're putting that back into the community. She still goes to the Hob. She spends wealth around, like they go and purchase things and try to, boost up the economy.
Like, not just hoarding or whatever.
Played Animal Crossing when it came out on the Switch. I was very excited and got really into that. And so every single day that I play Animal Crossing, I go to the stores and I buy stuff because I want to make sure that the economy is like, we've got money rolling through it. And so like, my head, me and Katniss, we're pretty similar, trying to boost up our economies. And so, so they want for nothing. Like they pretty much spend their lives trying to help others. So like her mom is still doing her like herbs and like helpfulness. So we see that a little bit later about how she's, making tonics.
She's a little bit of a healer, but not quite.
Yes. I can't think of the word because her parents used to run that shop in the like village. Apothecary.
Apothecary. Yeah. I
So,
kept messing up the
Yeah, so she does that general things, and they don't normally take payment. It's just like here's a chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
Like she just
bartering.
helps out what they can and stuff like that. So she doesn't have to be providing for her family. She mainly goes so that way she can sell it at the Hob, so other people can have meat and different stuff like that.
But she's
to help
like
Gail's
doing
family.
Stuff, yeah.
So like she's still trapping because she knows that Gail's not going to take a handout even if it's from her.
Yeah.
And so she's still giving to Gail's family and stuff like that. So we see Snow, and he pretty much blames the whole rebellion on her, this teenager, and her actions in the arena. The first time I watched it, I was just kind of like, oh, like, yeah, she kind of messed up. But also then, like, after I watched it later, I was like, that's so unfair. This is clearly not her fault. Like, you built up this system that's terrible and oppressing people. And now, like, there's been continual rebellions. And because of her actions have, like, sparked a little bit, you're deciding to blame the entire thing on her. Like,
oh, yeah, because
wild.
he can. He can. And also, it's very strategic. These are all dominoes. And her show in the arena was very public because they publicized it. Hello.
Yeah.
That's their own fault. But it was like a spark of hope, right?
Yeah.
People have hope, and that's dangerous.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he has said multiple lines, throughout that he's just kind of like the single bit of hope. Like, that's stronger than anything. That's what can take down everything.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think they shared that a little bit in the conversation where she was like, it must be a fragile system if it can be taken down by a couple of berries. Like, just kind of elaborating on that.
But it really is. Like, everything is built on something else. And when you start dismantling it or pulling at threads, it can all tumble.
So then they hop on the train to start going around, and I appreciate that.
So this is their victory tour.
This is their victor's tour. So so they're going around and they go to each district, and they have they pretty much go to the mayor's house. They have a dinner. They do a speech for the town. But her and Peeta, I think, have a good conversation of like, hey, like, we can't be interacting like this, because essentially they hadn't been talking. As soon as they got home, Katniss shut him out, and she was just like very.
Which I don't feel like they did a good. We just were supposed to assume that happened, but they didn't really.
We saw a little bit at Hamige's house when she was waking him up, and like Hamige was like, "Oh, that's chilly," because it was just like, "Would you like some bread?" And she's like, "No, I ate at the Hob." Like, and so I mean,
we had to reach too far to understand that.
Yeah. So one of my favorite bits about this on the train is Peeta's literally explaining to Katniss how to be friends, because as we saw from before, like she didn't hang out with a bunch of people. She had one girl, that's from book knowledge. That's not even from the movie knowledge, that like she had one girl that she would sit with at assemblies and like hang out with kind of. And
all of her relationships are based off transaction though, right? Like
other
she
than her
hunts
family,
with Gale because
that's how it started, was transactions. Yeah, because he taught her how to do snares and stuff. And so, he just literally is like, this is how friends work. Like, we get to talk to each other. We need to know the basic stuff, just favorite colors and starting with that. And so, I mean, this is another reason why I love Peeta. Like, he's gentle parenting her and just, being like, okay, this is what we need to do just so we can at least scratch the surface of like communicating better and being able to put up this facade of,
we can just be in the same room with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just love his like descriptions of things, like how he talks about like his favorite color and things like that. And so, this is just another.
Explain to her. Does she explain to him? They don't get into Snow coming to see her yet.
Okay. No, it's just this is how we need to be friends. Yeah. And so she didn't share that with anybody, Peeta or Hamige. And then they get to District 11. She gets all up in her feelings with seeing Ruth's family and the siblings. Peeta puts the cards away and he starts talking from his heart rather than what, was written by Effie. And they end up donating a month of their winnings, which has never been done before. Don't even know if it's possible, but he's already promised it, like broadcasted it throughout, this. So don't know what that looks like, but.
And we never find out if that was happening because everything crumbles and it can't be done anyway. So,
yeah.
But it's a nice gesture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that her family and his, I think that it was good that Katniss spoke just because I could definitely see that her family kind of felt like they needed to hear from her because she was such a support with Rue. But I mean, that's just what kind of started things going with more rebellion stuff that had already happened last Hunger Games when they were together, because that's where we saw riots happening when Rue died the first time. And then we see the older gentleman raise his 3 fingers, and I think he did like the whistle, and the guards just automatically go for him. Yeah. And Katniss starts freaking out, and they're pulling him away, and they shoot him in the head. They just automatically just take him out.
Very brutally.
And so that, there's a couple scenes, I mean, there's multiple people that die here, but I feel like there's a couple scenes where it's like that one hits home, and I feel like that is the first one that kind of leads us off to just like how heavy-handed this one is. But all of the killings that we see in this movie are of adults. And so it was the last one, it was kids, but this one, it's adults. And so just kind of seeing like that grow through it as well, where it just started off as like, oh no, like, this is a terrible thing for the kids, but really it's a terrible thing for everyone. Like we're just kind of seeing that, how it's escalated through. It's not just the Hunger Games, it's all of this as well.
Technically, it probably was the last time too. It's just not something that, okay, we're kind of seeing this stuff through Katniss's eyes, so she's seen it as just the Hunger Games and just kids killing kids, right? And now she's seen, like, how it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Like, that's her realizing that it's bigger than that, and they're showing us that through, like you said, the adults being the ones that are being killed.
So after that, that's when she gets the real realization is like she's never getting off this train. Like her Haymitch explains to her, like this
figurative train. Yeah. She's never getting off this figurative train.
They are going to continually take her out year after. She's a mentor. They're going to take her out year after year. They're going to drag out their love story. They're going to talk about it with the whole Capitol. I mean,
she has no autonomy anymore.
Yes, this is her new role. This is it. It's just being Katniss, being a Capitol darling, and, reliving her Hunger Games experience year after year, having to go to the districts year after year, having to be with these other victors and do these other things. And so I think that that's kind of the first time she really realized how her life was going to change, because she just, like she said in the end of the last movie, I just want to go back home, go back to normal, and that's just never happening again.
That is not normal anymore.
Yeah. And so, I think that was a great realization for her. But it definitely was something that was a struggle, because there's just so much more for her.
Very shocking.
To kind of undertake.
So is this before or after they keep Gale from getting beat up?
This is before.
Okay.
That's not until they go back home. So with the, we just see more of the PTSD of her sleeping on the train, like having the nightmares, and then Peeta coming in and checking on her. Something that is just kind of a little bit more of like book knowledge is that like they start sleeping together just platonic, like it's just for nightmares and comfort and just having someone there. But it becomes noticeable to like attendants on the train or to like, people that are there. And so rumors are starting, and Effie like has a conversation with them, and she's like, hey guys, you need to cool it. Like you can't be going off into each other's rooms.
Why can't they?
Because they're children.
Everybody thinks they're in love anyways. Like, I don't understand.
They she has that conversation with them, and they're just kind of like, oh, we'll be more careful, or we'll be more discreet about it. And they just don't. So like everyone thinks that like, it just kind of builds up the we're in love and we're, together and stuff.
Snow told her to do anyway.
Exactly.
So
yeah, there's just kind of that little tidbit of that's something that's going on.
Well, I don't know what the point of that was, though.
Of my statement?
Of Effie saying...
Oh, because Effie doesn't know what Snow said. Effie just
But
thinks that...
she still knows that, quote, they're in love.
Yeah, but just because you're in love doesn't mean you get to sleep with each other all the time.
I mean...
And she feels like responsible for it. I mean, she's, these are the victors. They're still kids. And she's taking them from place to place. And when they go to dinners and stuff, she's telling them how to act, what to do.
See,
Mayor's
and
names,
this is my problem with the movies. Here we go. And I get it. But we're asking kids to be adults.
Sure.
Is this... But then when they act like adults, we're yelling at them for it. So I'm just figure out what you want, Effie, capital. All you people need to figure out what you want because you're being confusing.
Okay. I mean, her mom, so more in the books, her mom is she's not allowed to date right now. Her mom has pushed on that as well. It's she doesn't want their relationship going any further because.
So she's trying to.
So Effie is kind
Katniss off from having to do something.
She's keeping her a kid.
Yeah.
She's helping with that as well.
Which is a big deal because she wasn't really present for any other part of Katniss's journey.
One of the things that stuck out to me was I liked that we got to see snippets of President Snow with his daughter or granddaughter. Multiple times throughout the movie, we're seeing little cuts of him with his family, just kind of, this is his everyday life, having breakfast or chilling or whatever. And so I really liked him getting to see the little bits of rebellion that was leaking down through the Capitol. They didn't
even recognize
that it was a rebellion. Yeah, it was just that she has become such a symbol that his granddaughter is wearing hair that is braided in the same way as Katniss. He sees his daughter emulating Katniss multiple times throughout this movie. And so I feel like that was really just kind of such a jab to him because he is such a control freak. And
I think that's his way of keeping his finger on the pulse, though. That's how he recognizes and it tells him
what's happening. Okay.
Intentional or how it's showing him how big her influence is getting. How big her power is getting that she doesn't even know that she has.
She has not, because Katniss is, like we said, oblivious to everything.
Yeah. But she also doesn't know what's going on outside of her own little world because they have intentionally cut off communications between the districts.
Yep.
They're controlling everything that she sees and hears, basically, to the extent that they can. So she just doesn't know. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to make friendships outside of your communities even. Because you learn things that you didn't know.
And if something's going on that you're not aware of, then you can get it from that source.
But even just hey, this is my family and this is what we do in the Midwest, or hey, this is my family and this is how we do this over here in the East Coast. We say soda instead of pop or whichever coast that is. You know what I mean? It's just to notice the differences. And then, if it is a big thing, it's something that you can hear from other people. Yeah.
So as they're doing the strategic planning, they decide to go ahead and announce an engagement between the two of them, just trying to continue to bust her up that, we're young and we're in love and yada, yada.
And I think we're trying to distract everybody with our young love and our royal wedding versus the actual issues at hand, which are this rebellion and this fighting back against the oppression.
Yeah. I mean, Snow, I think he did a good job from his side of things of trying to convince Katniss that this is all her fault and she has to fix it. So to the point where they're spinning their wheels trying to do things to distract and to get, get people to have the focus on them and their relationship rather than, seeing what's really going on and what's happening around them.
Yeah, if you can distract somebody. I mean, honestly, this is what we do to toddlers, you guys. They cry because they fell over and you give them a new shiny toy. Oh, but look at this toy over here. And then they crawl over to the new toy and the falling over is forgotten. This is the same thing. It's just on a bigger scale.
Yeah. So we get to the governor's mansion And Effie says mahogany again, and I just giggle every time whenever she's pointing out the fancy things in mahogany. And we get to meet the new game maker, Plutarch Heavensby. Did you have any thoughts upon meeting him?
He's kind of creepy.
Sure.
He's giving
any
creepy
Capitol
vibes.
member, honestly, I feel like always gives that creepy vibe.
But he's doing this weird, like, whispery thing with his voice, too, that Philip Seymour Hoffman doesn't do in everything.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like he's playing it in sort of a creepy vibe way.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. And he's being cryptic. So he's creepy and he's being kind of cryptic, which, I mean, you find out at the end of the movie, he's doing that because he's a double agent, essentially. Yeah.
He's playing very guarded.
But it's
Which
hard.
is how Katniss plays anyway. So
Right.
it was just like both brick walls talking to each other.
So it's like super confusing because you don't know what either of them are trying to say or do.
Yeah.
And they're just throwing stuff out there hoping it will stick.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And I think it's so interesting how much President Snow and the Game Maker are talking about things. Like, the Game Maker is so aware of the rebellions happening in the districts. And, like...
what's his face that
Seneca?
aware last year?
So Seneca knew of some things that was going on, for sure. But I don't feel like he had as much knowledge as Plutarch has had. And Plutarch... Well, both Crane and Heavensby are both very prominent, like, capital citizen last names.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they're, like, essentially, in Harry Potter, they're, like, the pure bloods. Like, they're...
That's book knowledge for you people, by the way, because I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that's, like...
So they're, like, they are in the know, but he's just talking very openly. And so now I'm just sort of wondering, like, what college did you go to? Is there college? Is this the same kind of educational system that we have right now? That
Plutarch
is super eloquent and a really good PR rep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is very, very strategic.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how he understands the connection between the games and the live things that are happening with the people in the districts.
Yeah.
And you don't just draw connections like that without having grown, fostered. I'm not really sure the word I want to use here, but without having, like, built up that skill.
Yeah.
You don't just know how to do stuff like that. Like, that's something that you've grown through time and paying attention and stuff like that.
Yeah. I have more information on that, but that is from several books in the future. Like, it's not this book, so I'm not going to go into it because
But you agree that is something
yes,
that was like,
I mean, he went to university. He went to, like, there is, pretty much high school, and then there is a college level. And so, like, he did those. He's been working in the Capitol ever since. Yeah, he's been there putting in his time. But like you said, like how you said, like, PR person, I felt that was a really good, like, representation of it, because, like, when he's talking strategies with Snow of, like, okay, we'll put on, what dress is she going to wear? Floggings. What's happening about the wedding, the cake, floggings, like, just going back and forth and really putting them in that situation where trying to turn the nation again, the rebel nation, not the capital nation, because we all know the capital's for them, but the rebel nation against them, saying that, like, they're the problem, not the capital.
They need to
stuff.
lose
like,
hope in her and what she's unintentionally standing for, which is that somebody from the districts can win,
stand up against the capital and come out okay.
Yeah.
So Gale, Katniss gets back. She goes back to Gale. They're talking about running away. I struggle with Gale at this point because he's just kind of so caught up in, like, what their love could look like, and then also, like, the rebellion and what that looks like. And so
Gale doesn't know anything either.
Yeah, he's just, like, because, I mean, there have been talks down in the mine, so, like, people have talked about rebelling, and so, like, he's got a little bit, but, like, yeah, they're both just kids.
Because they're cut off from the other districts. So he doesn't actually know what he thinks he knows because he has no way to know Okay, I realize I said it like 4 times. But what I'm saying is there's talk, and it's all hypothetical. It's all conspiracy theory. He hasn't been face-to-face with Snow. He doesn't understand the kind of nemesis, if you will, that Snow is. He doesn't understand the direct correlation between that Katniss now understands after going on this tour.
Yep.
He doesn't understand the direct correlation between what Katniss does and what impact it has to the people of not only his district, but the other districts.
Yep.
And so now Katniss can't be thinking of just herself. Like, she has to be thinking of
not just herself and her family and like Gale's family, which was what she was doing prior, but also the
Literally
district
everybody
and
else.
the surrounding.
Yeah.
She's now wearing the weight of the shoulders of not just her family that she has been for years, but now Panem. Like,
right. Now, I think does she want to run away or he wants to run away?
So he wanted to run away at
Earlier.
the beginning. Yes. Yeah. And then she came back and she's like, let's do it. We have to go.
Right. Because now she's like, this is too much.
Yeah. She realized the severity of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, meh. So at this point, are you team Gale, team Peeta?
Oh, I was never team any of them.
Okay. So just neither.
I was not into the love story at all.
Okay. Great.
I think that they just don't have enough information.
Yeah.
I like all of the characters are fine. I get where they're each coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I am not buying a love story here between any of them.
Okay. All right.
So we didn't do enough to like make me think that they should be in love. If anything, Peeta, just because he's there with her more often, we see more of those interactions.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't know that that means love for me. Like,
sure.
I don't know that it means romantic love.
Yeah.
But I think that you can, like, them sleeping together platonically, to me, does not equal romantic either.
I mean, Peeta,
physical touch can just be, like, if she's having a bad dream and he's right there, he can touch her shoulder or whatever and wake her up more quickly than somebody can if they're in another room and they're running into the room.
Yeah.
And they both have these nightmares, so they both understand. They both went through something. They had to be very, very vulnerable with each other, and they understand where each other's at.
Yeah.
So you're not like opening up new scars to somebody else. They already know where each other is.
Yeah. And they don't have to re-explain it to somebody and hash it out. Like they
and
just have that mutual understanding.
It.
Yes. Yeah, they're trauma bonded with each other for that.
Yes.
Which Peeta, I mean, I feel like he already explained, like he loves her, clearly. Like he's already went over that. But he's also just like, what do we need to do to be friends? Like, what do we need to do? Like, and so I don't feel like Peeta is on that love track. And I feel like Gale has more jumped, well, like, if you'd love me, we would do this. Or like, that was kind of more at the beginning of like running away and stuff like that. But yeah, he's just in a very different headspace.
I don't think he loves her like that either. I think he's like, our normal has shifted and I don't like what this means for you or me. And I would like it to be different. And so this is the obvious next answer is we love each other and we should run away together.
Yeah. But they're not going to.
No. And I think Katniss knows it's not a love thing. I think when she comes back, she knows it's honestly, I think she knows it's a survival thing.
Between her and Gale?
Yeah. If we take him, his family, my family, we can survive
also Peeta's family. She talked about taking in Hamage and whoever would come kind of within their bubble. But they don't run away. Gale actually leaves in a huff. So here is one of the parts where I am going to talk about the book because I hate how they interpret it in the movie. The new commander comes into District 12. The old one gets retired or probably killed. Honestly.
He gets sent to the farm.
He comes in, they take down the Hob, they cause panic around, yada, yada. At this point in the book, Gale and Katniss were like way off into the woods in like an old cabin that she and her dad used to go to. And like, it's next to this lake where she learned how to swim. And so like they talk about
in the book.
Yes. So like they've been to this like multiple times, like in the book, like Katniss has talked about it. And so they are like, it's a ways walk. So they're several hours away and they have this conversation. They get upset. Gale leaves. So Gale shoots a turkey.
Means he just walks faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gale catches a turkey on his way home, and he goes to take it to the old head peacekeeper's home. So he shows up at the back door, knocks with this turkey, which is government property because it was on government land, and you can't kill turkeys because it's
which they commonly used to sell things to peacekeepers.
And he knew the head peacekeeper had a flavor for turkey, and so he went to sell it. It's the new head peacekeeper, and so that's why Gale then got beatings, was because he killed the burb.
He was like,
not because he was trying to save an old lady from the peacekeeper. I think they just did that movie-wise to make Gale seem like a better guy than he really was. And
I mean, not that he seemed like a bad guy, but
yeah, exactly. So that's my correction from the one that I'm gonna like put my little name stamp on, because I don't love how they did that, because it wasn't Gale being this big old hero.
They would have had to explain that the old peacekeeper had a taste for turkey and that he got kicked out, which we knew already from the movie. But also then they would have had to add another set to him to go to his hut or whatever.
I kind of get why they did it, but like, so when Katniss comes back into town, like Gale's out. Like he is not conscious because of how many lashes he's gotten.
How much he'd been whipped
like
already.
she had missed a chunk of it, and there was actual peacekeepers that like stood up for Gale and Katniss, and they were just kind of like, "You've done your job." And then he like whips that peacekeeper, and like it's a whole thing. And then I
think what you gain by that from the book is that there are people on both sides who realize that this is a more complicated thing.
Which I didn't appreciate not seeing that, because they were Katniss and Gale, like they trade with, like the District 12 has a working relationship with the peacekeepers.
Yeah.
And that's just part of Snow's coming in to, just smash them down even more, as they're bringing in new peacekeepers that aren't going to be as friendly, that aren't as used to them, that aren't going to do that. And so it's just, they start setting up curfews. They take him back to her house. Her mom and Prim become Dr. Cohen medicine women. And
I don't know how many times he got whipped in the movie, but I imagine the book did a better job of showing or talking about the severity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem that bad.
I mean,
in the movie. Not that I've ever been like whipped at a whipping post.
Whipping would be awful at all. But yes, the book does a better job of describing how intense it was, because like I said, I mean, Gale was passed out. There was flesh away from his skin. I think at one point you could possibly see bone, like,
and it probably rips muscles, like depending on the implement used.
That's the only person that's like working at that point in time. I think his mom did have like a side laundry business or something, but like Gale was supporting his entire family through the mines. And so that was, that's a whole thing in and of itself, is Prim and Mom having to come in. Like Haymitch brings him in and he's like, hey, it's kind of like last time, like the whipping post is up again, because they've been through this way years back before Katniss and Prim and Gale were even around. And so, her mom, we just got to see her kind of go into doctor mode, and she just starts doing things and whipping stuff around and, trying to get him better again. And so I think it's at that point where the line that you talked about earlier, that Gale was like, I knew you were going to kiss me because I'm in pain. And
this is how you respond. How you make it stop.
So then we go into the Quarter Quell. That's getting announced.
Okay, this is what I don't understand.
Okay.
Very clearly, this is upsetting to everybody, but
sure.
And Katniss needs a minute to process.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes back to Haymitch, and I don't understand this whole thing. He's like, well, it took you 45 minutes longer than it took Peeta. So basically what I'm gathering is Katniss doesn't want Peeta to die. She would rather Haymitch die in the games than Peeta. So she's asking Haymitch to volunteer for Peeta if his name gets called.
Yes. So she now realizes that, like, she's the only girl because...
so she's screwed either way.
So that's why she left, was just having to comprehend that she is now having to go back into the games.
Which is not unreasonable, Haymitch, for her to have to process that.
Yes. but is a lot. It's intense for a teenager to then have to go back and process. So, but then after she got through it, she then realized, oh, there's only two options. We need to save. Peeta's obviously the best one out of all the humans, victors of her and
okay,
Haymitch.
that's true. I'm sure.
He's just a better person. And so she's like, we need to do whatever we can. But Peeta realized it right away, and he's like, we need to do whatever we can to save Katniss for her family and yada, and because he loves her and yada, yada. And so, but my question to you is, so these Hunger Games pieces of paper for Quarter Quell and whatever, these are supposedly written down after the war, and they're all in those little pieces of paper and in there. So do you think that this is actually what should have been happening for the 70s?
No.
You didn't even let me finish.
No, because it
Just
wasn't.
Like, absolutely not.
They were like, we have got to do something. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I mean, yeah, it was a clear...
Sorry, you have to bleep that
out. Yeah, it was a clear just showing of like, hey, not even the victors are out of reach. Like, we have...
Oh, yeah. They just have to escalate. The Capitol has to escalate their level of power because they've said once you're a victor, you're set for life. But we can't do that because the victors are rising up, if you will.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're definitely showing that no one is out of the Capitol's reach.
Yeah.
Not even the victors who, supposedly they're done after they've won. Yeah. So one of my favorite quotes from Haymitch, though, is you could live 100 lifetimes and never deserve that boy, because Peeta, he's just always thinking of what he can do to protect her and save her, and immediately went to Haymitch and they made promises to each other, and then Haymitch and Katniss made promises to each other of what that's gonna look like. And so yeah, there's just so many emotions going into the Quarter Quell, and what that looks like. And then just going into the reaping, like it was just such a serious and somber reaping this year because it was just the one name in the bowl for the girls and then the two for the boys. And we all know that I like Effie. She's one of my favorites for sure. But I feel like she does such a wonderful job because you hear that hitch in her voice when she reads, because it's sadness for sure, but also the relief because she's like, oh, it's not Peeta, like, Haymitch Abernathy, like he's the next one. And then the look on her face when Peeta volunteers, she's just like, what are you doing? Like, this was to protect, like, this is a good thing. And so I know that not everyone loves her, and she just, she's not thinking about everything, and she just kind of has like this little space. And I feel like she's definitely aware of more of what's going on around her, but she doesn't let on to it. And so
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. She definitely plays her role and just kind of leaves it at that. But she knows the little things that's going on. And she's been in District 12 for a long time, and she's been in Haymitch's life for a long time.
Yeah.
So to have to kind of go through that, I don't think she's been around long enough. Since she
wasn't
pull
there when
his
Haymitch
name
was a
out,
victor.
yeah, but she has been around long enough to have a relationship with him and be on the train with him and all that stuff. So, yeah, I thought that was really good acting on Effie's part. Just the little details that she was able to bring to that scene for sure. Do you have any thoughts about that scene or just kind of them leaving again?
Her goodbye gets cut off, which is just another way that they're pulling the power.
Yep.
Showing control. So that's kind of stinky. And then that's it. They head to the Capitol.
Mm. They head to the Capitol. Oh, yeah.
Haymitch promises Peeta that he'll do whatever he can to save Katniss.
Yeah.
And Katniss gets him to promise her he'll do whatever he can to save Peeta. And they're both mad at each other. And Peeta's like, you owe me. And this is what I don't know that I understand.
Because Haymitch barely helped Peeta in the first games.
How did he help Katniss? He gave her the medicine.
He sent her food. He sent her...
Did he send her food?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So again, not as much of it came through in the movie, but like in the books, he sent her several things. And then when they were together, if Katniss did something good for like their relationship, he got more and he would send them more things. But
Which he only got more because people donated it because they liked seeing the relationship.
But it was also him advocating for those.
Yeah.
And she got, And so, but like, I mean, Peeta.
He literally saved Peeta too, though.
His leg was gashed open hard
Yeah.
because what's-his-face, Kato, cut him pretty much at an artery, like real close to it. And so there was multiple days where Peeta was just by himself with no food, no water, and an open gaping wound. And it wasn't until Katniss got there, it was like cleaning it and trying to get it together. Like,
Okay.
so
he's like, you picked Katniss last time. I want you to pick her again.
Another thing that doesn't come across is like Peeta loses part of his leg in the first Hunger Games. And so he's an amputee after that. And so that,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't work it into the movies or anything at all. And so he lost part of a limb because he didn't get the help that he needed in a timely manner.
Okay.
That's part of it. So
I'll buy it now.
So yeah, we're reviewing the tributes. We're getting to see, these past people. We're seeing some of the older ones, some of the younger ones. I mean, obviously we don't see how big the pools are in Districts 1 and 2, but we know that those are bigger because there's more victors from there.
Right.
And so we get...
How crazy was it that brother and sister both got?
I know, which I think I can talk about it a little bit now. So just from like book stuff, from future books, I believe that the pulling of the names are rigged. I feel that they are chosen ahead of time of this is the boy or this is the girl that we want. And so it does not surprise me at all if this was rigged as well to be more emotional, to be more heart pulling. Brother and sister are here. Like, doesn't matter what's going on. We have control over this. And so that's my take on that.
So what do you think? They just fill like 150 of the same name that they want pulled?
Yeah.
So the night before the reaping, because I thought that they would they put the names in every time something happened.
So I think due to technology, I assume that there's a log based. And so it's like they have a log keeping track of how many times a name should be in. And then whoever is doing it, they just print off one name and it all goes in there.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's, again, I've read all of the books so far and I've gotten a lot of information of different other things. And so that's why I have that take. And we don't see another reaping moving forward. So I'm just going to go ahead and share it now. Spoilers, I guess. Sorry.
Theories. I mean, because if it's not actually confirmed.
Yeah. So we get to see another chariot ride. How'd you feel about this one?
Whatever.
You didn't like their daytime fire and her staring down President Snow, or was it just kind of like,
I don't think it was as
it doesn't
impactful
matter?
as they wanted it to be.
Sure.
And I didn't care about it.
All right. She does get to meet Finnick Odair.
I like that part.
Okay. And just like their interaction in general.
I think it's just, this is another way she's seen the impact out like to other people in other districts and the stuff that he's saying, which is again, very coded and guarded. And I think that's because nobody knows where Katniss stands because she's very guarded herself, which I get.
Katniss doesn't know where she stands. So how can
well,
other people,
right.
like,
But I mean, yeah. So, and I think that's why she's guarded. She's like, feels like she isn't ready to, she doesn't know what she thinks. So she's not ready to take a stand on anything.
Yeah.
And so she's guarded because anything she says could be the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I like that she gets to meet Finnick. I like that he chats with her a little bit. And, you know, he is sort of charming. And I think that's like, he's not an ass right away. Like, you're not completely off put because he's just a jerk.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we also meet Johanna, which is one of the other victors. She is ticked that she is being pulled again and having to be put back in the games. And she has a interesting elevator ride with Katniss and Peeta and Haymitch to where she like just takes off all her clothes
in the elevator
and just kind of hangs out. And we just see, I feel like that's just very showing of who she is in her character. So she does not care
I think
at all.
she has recognized and come to terms with the fact that the Capitol owns her. So anytime she can make a choice for herself,
She's going to do it.
she's going to do it. And
Yeah.
I think that's what like undressing in the elevator is about. Like,
Yeah.
they can show my body whenever they want. They have cameras on me all the time. Like, I'm going to choose to do anything that gives me a little bit of power.
Yeah. Fun fact, did you recognize her from Pride and Prejudice?
She's, what's her face? The annoying
She's
one.
Lydia, the one that ends up marrying Mr. Wickham.
Yeah.
And
super annoying one.
President Snow obviously is the father as well. And so I thought that was kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because like he
I
got to
knew
be
that,
with
but
her.
I didn't put it together.
And she was much younger for Pride and Prejudice. And then he got to be with her in this one too. And so I think
they
that
don't have any
kind
scenes together though, do they?
No.
So I wonder if they even actually saw each other like on the set.
Fine, just put a little damper on my
Sometimes people
happiness
don't even
there.
realize they're in the same movie with each other.
That's true.
Like you
That's
see it on
fair.
the interviews
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, really? I
Yeah.
had no idea."
I think Dennis Quaid said that once when he was in an interview with what's his face? The one that we don't like because of dating Taylor Swift or something. He's got brown hair. He's a bad guy in Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
No,
Jake
the other
Gyllenhaal.
one. Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. He was Dennis Quaid was like a dad for Jake Gyllenhaal in some
Mhm.
movie forever and ago. And
The Day After Tomorrow.
sure.
That's the movie, just in
Okay,
case our
great.
listeners are like, "What movie?" It's called The Day After Tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So last time in the movie, your favorite scenes were in the training session. So what did you think of
I
these
still like
sessions?
those.
Still your favorite?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. Right now, it's been a while since I watched it, so I don't remember exactly what they were. But those are still fun because I like that you get a little bit of backstory about the other,
Yeah.
victors. I guess I was going to say contestants, but that's not really right. So I think that's fun.
Were you surprised at the allies that she ended up picking after like
No.
doing those? No? You're just like, this is pretty Katniss coded?
I don't know if it's her coded, but those are strategic people that are smart, and she knows like she needs smart people to help win.
Mm.
Like she's not. I mean, she's strong, but she's not amazingly strong.
Yeah.
And she's smart for the most part. Like she knows how to have strategy when she's hunting and stuff like that. So I think that those are the people she's going to pick because they're thinking outside of the box. And with the way the Capitol can control everything anyway, she needs people that are going to be thinking outside of the box. Or outside of the arena, if you will.
One of my favorite details from the training sessions was when Katniss, she like, Mags is teaching her how to do a fish hook or something. And then she's like, oh, I'll teach you how to shoot. And so she's like, let's go in there. And Mags is like, you just go and like, I'll watch. All through sign language because Matt can't speak. And so Katniss goes in and she types in whatever to pull up these
Simulations, if you will. Yeah.
simulations so that way she can shoot an arrow. And if you look at all of the simulations,
They're the
victors
Yeah.
that she's going to be battling. Like they have there's the trident, there's the sword, there's she's battling, she's already showing how she can take down and how these people are going to be attacking her. And so I thought that was really neat, and it just showed off her skills more because you see at the end of that scene, like all of the victors are standing there watching her because of how much of a threat she is with a bow, because she can really, just go at it and like work, trying to get these different people in different scenarios. And so, yeah, I thought that was a fun little.
I like that she offered something to Mags. Like that's what her whole world is about, bartering in the hop or whatever, is that offering. And so I like that she did that and didn't just assume that she was going to take something from Mags at her, age and inability to talk with her mouth.
So when they go in and do their rating scores, essentially to be judged, I noticed how the game makers have a very different attitude this year than they did last year. And so part of that, I don't know if it's because these are past victors, so there is just generally more respect because it's not little kid, like it's a different
group
field,
of people, yeah.
or if it's just genuinely because of they've got that protection shield now, but if it's just because of how things went last year, that they just are like, okay, this is now more of a somber. I didn't see a table of food in the background.
Mhm.
I didn't see drinks next to the people's chairs.
I think
Like
the
they were just
stakes are
there.
just all around higher for this game.
So I appreciated that they were paying attention.
Yep.
What were your thoughts on Katniss's talent of hanging the old game maker Seneca Crane?
I think she's weird because she doesn't do anything strategic until she does, and it's a really big one.
Yeah.
Like
She's
she was
so
literally saying, this is what I did, and this was the impact, and I know this now. Like, it really doesn't matter until she gets, like, upset about something, and then she just bulldozes it.
Yeah.
So I don't know that she really is that strategic, I guess is what I should say. She is still, this is her still being reactive.
So we get to see their interviews. We're seeing the tributes and the slight ways that they're saying, like, hey, let's stop this. We don't have to do this. Like, we're sad. We don't want to be leaving you. But also, like, hey, we have power. Like, why don't we just rewrite the law? Like, I mean,
Why don't we just rewrite the law?
Multiple tributes are doing this. And you see Caesar continuing to control the narrative and like wrap it around about how like this isn't the Capitol's fault. Like, you know, this is just kind of the way things go. I know in the last podcast I'd mentioned like when Johanna is just kind of going off and he's just kind of like, oh, that's one woman's opinion. Like just kind of, I mean, he's really putting his money where his mouth is because he is working hard to try to spin this, that, you know, this is the way things have to be and you just need to kind of suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah.
So we're seeing the dress transformation. How did you feel about seeing her in her wedding dress and then seeing her go from wedding to Mockingjay? So really just like what the Capitol's been cramming down their throats to, I am a symbol of this rebellion.
Yeah, she doesn't know that that's, I don't think she recognizes that she's a symbol. Her personally. I don't think she recognizes when she does the dress thing that he did it because she's a symbol.
Yeah, because she hasn't taken on, she hasn't said like, yes, like I am the symbol or anything. I think she just thinks that Mockingjay is just the symbol and that's it. And so she's like, oh yeah, like Mockingjay is like, great. But yeah, I think that was very strategic of him and just showing how he understands the gravity of what's happening and what's going on and has altered everything in her outfits to be able to show this is not something we're willing to stand by and take anymore.
Yeah. It was cool though. The effect is cool. But also she's getting manipulated by a lot of people.
Constantly. Yeah.
And I kind of feel bad for her.
Yeah. I mean, she's put into a lot of situations. She's wearing this dress and
doing this thing without realizing the full implications of what it is. And somebody has suggested this for her, knowing full well the full implications.
But I think he does make a statement about how, I think when he's talking with Katniss, I don't remember if it's in the movie or the book though, where he's like, everything I do is like, so it can come back on me. And so like, he knows what he's doing and how like the implications that he's making. And so he makes it clear that this is something that he did.
Which
and
is
not
honorable, but at the same time, would she have worn the dress and done that if she'd known he was going to get killed for it?
Oh, probably not.
No.
Because then it would have put somebody else in danger.
Right.
And so she's not going to do
that. So they're
that.
taking away her choice.
Yeah.
Therefore manipulating her.
Yeah. I think that Peeta, I mean, he always does great with Caesar. He's, you know, they're able to hash it back and forth.
Yeah.
And he just does a beautiful job about
just sliding it in.
You know, if it just weren't for
the baby.
If it weren't for the baby. And then just the uproar from the Capitol citizens of like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. We can't kill a baby. Like, what were we doing last year, ladies and gentlemen? Like,
just because they were like, you know, 12 years older.
Yeah. And so the reason why I brought up a little earlier about how in the books, like it's more prominent that like known that they're sleeping together, like this
so they
this is kind of more of like, oh, like this is a thing.
That's what happened on the train.
Like they have been having, air quotes, a physical relationship.
Yeah.
Like, this is a genuine possibility. And he talks about how they did get married in secret. And it is honestly a very beautiful thing in the books. In District 12, they do this thing called a toasting, where they literally like make toast and like share it together. And because they don't have a lot of like fancy things.
They didn't get married though.
And so they didn't, but he's building this story saying that they did, that she is now pregnant because they want their love to be eternal and everlasting and yada, yada.
I don't think he started sleeping with her on the train to use that.
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
that was
No.
like a happy accident.
That just happened. Yeah, they were just doing it. And then he was like, oh, like I've kind of already started to lay the ground. Like people this would be believable. And I think he just rolled with it because he's so strategic. That's something we talked about last time. Like he is thinking about multiple steps ahead. What can we do to win over the crowd?
What's his face's job?
Caesar?
Yeah.
Flickerman's?
Mm-hmm.
I think in another world he could do Caesar Flickerman's job of just kind of being that kind of relatable, easygoing person, but also being able to kind of get that message across. We see that. We see that they're not going to change the games. Effie, go ahead.
Super cute. Effie does the "we all need something gold."
Yes.
Which is adorable, but also gag me. And then,
here's the deal. Effie really sees them as a team, though. Like, this is her first.
But they're not all going to survive, Effie. Why are you getting attached?
This is her first time of having.
When you raise chickens.
But she already got attached before the quarter, because this is her first time that she's had surviving victors. And so it was so exciting because there was two of them.
Two of them are going to die.
And now they're being put back. And it's unfair. She sees that it's unfair. She doesn't like it. She hates it. And she's like, okay, what can we do for our little team, our little unit? Like, she wants to show them that she's got their back.
Well, she doesn't, but she wants to show them that she has affection for them, I think.
You don't think she has their back?
No.
Interesting.
She can't save them.
Neither can Gale, but he's got Katniss's back, kind of.
Does he?
That wasn't a great, like,
not a good example.
That wasn't a great example.
My point is that nobody can come in and make it better for them.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean that they don't support you.
Well, that's not, I don't know, that's the same as, I don't know.
I love you.
Use the term.
And I've got your back.
Got her back.
But there are things that I can't change about your life. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to be here and support you for it.
Yeah, you're not Effie, though. You totally understand things about my life. Effie is completely oblivious to certain things. But
we talked about earlier that she's not as oblivious as she lets on.
I agree with that.
So she gives them their tokens. She says goodbye. And then we see another just brutal beating of
the dress designer.
Yes. Yeah. As he is down there, she has to go in the tube. They literally, he says 60 seconds and he's like 10 seconds. And like, I remember the first time seeing it, I was like, that wasn't 60 seconds. Like, why is this a movie 60 seconds? Why isn't it real? And then when she gets in the tube and then they come in.
Which they waited until she couldn't do anything about it.
Specifically did that to jar her and to get her worked up and then she gets risen up into this big bright, which is even brighter because it's on the water because it's the sun reflecting from it. And so she has, 30 seconds or whatever to readjust herself, figure it out, and get on a game plan, figuring out what's going on. She's finding Peeta, knows that she's got to get to the cornucopia to get a bow and arrow, like just trying to figure out what this is going to look like. Because you don't even know what's in the water. There could be piranhas. It could be poisonous.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. So much going on.
We talked about how Katniss picked her allies, but they were like, really? That's who you want to be allies with? Mm-hmm. And Peeta would have picked different people.
Sure.
And then they're like, just let's not pick allies then.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So we're going into this with them not having picked allies.
Correct. It's just Katniss and Peeta.
I think it's important to point out that Katniss and Peeta are very different people thinking in very different ways. Because Peeta's like, but the baby. And Katniss is like, we have to survive this. Who are the smart people?
Yeah.
So I think that they balance each other out very nicely. Mm-hmm. And they complement each other. Like, they each have different strengths that they bring, and that makes their team stronger.
Yeah, that makes it work for them, for sure. Yeah. So fun little tidbit, again, is like the training center doesn't have a pool. So over half of these tributes have never had an opportunity to even swim or be in water or what that looks like. So it is definitely jarring for a lot of them because they've never had access to it. We know Katniss can swim because she there was a
There was
lake,
a lake
and
next
like
to
her
the
dad taught her
cabin.
how to swim and yada yada. But like Peeta doesn't know. He's never been to the lake. Obviously Finnick and Mags, because of where they're from, swimming and like the oceans and stuff, they know how to swim. But there's very little opportunities for anybody else.
Probably
and so,
1 and 2 know how to swim.
they've got
they're
training
like the fancy
stuff,
ones.
and so for sure, I think they've been given some for that. But
how does Katniss's dad know how to swim?
we can't get into that right now.
Okay.
We will.
That's a book thing.
We will. Yeah.
It's not just there's a lake here, trial and error. Let's not drown.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about that in a couple
Okay.
episodes. It'll be great. So yeah, they're able to get together. She finds out then that Finnick is on her team. He's wearing the bracelet that Haymitch got from Effie.
Because Haymitch couldn't just say, listen, Finnick's a good guy.
He knew she was going to argue and rebuke it. So he was just like, you know what? It's one of those things where it's like, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
Okay.
That's where he was with her. He was just like, I'm not dealing with it. Okay. And so she just had to trust him. She just had to trust that.
But Haymitch is a good thinker too. He should know like who the good allies would have been.
He does. And I think that that's why he placed Finnick with her, is because he knew that they would, Mags was one that she wanted, not necessarily Finnick, but Mags. And so Mags and Finnick are a package deal.
Yeah.
And so he put it on the person that Katniss would have killed, because if she could have taken him out, she would have.
Yeah.
But he thankfully showed her that.
So she ends up getting Peeta, or she doesn't?
He ends up getting Peeta.
Okay.
So
for her, because she couldn't get him.
And so that was a huge trusting thing for him too. Is that, he's going into the water to get Peeta out, so that way he can
win some trust and make sure that they have an ally going on. Okay.
And then they start running away. They make it all the way to the edge of the arena, and
the fog.
Well, before
pushes
that,
him back.
Peeta's heart stops. And Katniss has never seen anyone do CPR before, because if you get hurt in the mines, you're dead.
Right.
Like this isn't something that she has ever seen. And so when she looks, like Finnick literally rips her off of him so that way he can start doing CPR,
chest compressions.
And so she looks up, and in the books, she's just like, why is Finnick kissing him? Yeah. She doesn't understand she's just like literally like, what's happening? Like,
why
so
did his
confused.
heart stop?
Because he hit the electrical fence.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so, which she could see because she reviewed it with Beatty and them.
The shimmery thing.
Yeah. But how they explained it was that her ear got messed up in the first Hunger Games, and they fixed it too good, so now she can hear the electrical fence.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, you can hear that.
Yeah. So brings him back to life. And I feel like that's a really good moment for Finnick to see that this isn't just...
There's genuine affection there.
Yeah, a fake love story between them. Like, Katniss is genuinely worried and just shook at the fact that he's, could have been hurt and could have died. And
I still don't know that I'm calling it love, romantic love.
Sure. I think it's
definitely
huge
love.
Affection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be super romantic to love somebody.
But I think that he can tell that there's affection there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by that reaction, and he was not sure that it was just being brought up for the TVs and all of that, but now for the cameras, but now he knows that it's there. So I think it adds a realness to them that he didn't know before.
So they're in the arena trying to figure out their next move.
Let's just talk about this for a second. How big is this arena? If you're thinking this is a covered arena.
Domed, yeah.
Do you think that this is like the size of a football stadium arena?
So
or how big? And look at the resources that it took for them to make something that big.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, they do this every year. They make a new arena every year. So this arena has been in the works, I don't know exactly, but probably 10 years prior. Like, they are working on the new ones and building them ahead of time. So this wasn't something that they just...
freaking huge.
Yeah.
And
they're all different sizes, but because the last arena was definitely bigger than this one. Mm-hmm. This one, they were in much tighter corners. But yeah, it's not a huge space because they had to keep moving around. They're constantly just walking. Yeah, just getting it going. So we find there's more than just animals to be worried about because animals was the main animals and fire, but there's a fog that's coming up. Did you hear the bugs stop when the fog started to come through? So did you know, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be awful, like terrible?
Well, I don't know about awful, but you know when the animals stop moving, like animals are a big indicator of nature, and this isn't really nature, but something happening.
Yeah.
So when they stop moving and making noise, you know something is going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't automatically assume it was going to be poisonous fog, but then it touched her.
Yeah.
And it was. So then you have to run.
So what were your thoughts when you saw that Mags sacrificed herself so Finnick would be able to carry Peeta and they could move on together?
I mean, that's... What else was she going to do?
I mean, she could have just kept going, but she made that choice.
But she made it so that other people wouldn't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. When I first watched it, I know that like years and years ago, I was like surprised at first, but then I was just kind of like, there's obviously a bigger plan going on here that Mags was aware of. So I was like, she had access to information that I don't have yet because there was such a definite, like
she knew
she was not second guessing herself. Yep. She immediately gave Finnick a kiss and walked. I mean, did not even give him a chance.
Yeah.
Just
because he would have stopped
what's
her.
Happening. Yeah.
And I think too, she had to have known there was a bigger plan or she wouldn't have even made it that far.
Well, I mean, he had Finnick was he was ride or die for Mags. Like this has been his support, because she's his mentor when he won his games at 14. He was the youngest one to ever win.
But I mean, she could have offed herself at any time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which just sounds super harsh.
Yeah.
But if she knew that she wasn't going to survive, but she had a hope of surviving because there's a bigger plan, right? Knowing what I know now, like they were going to try to escape.
Yeah.
But now she's met with this impossible choice because Peeta can't walk, Katniss can't carry him, Finnick can't carry her, and Peeta.
Yeah.
So what does she have to offer? A lot, but what they need right now isn't something she can help with.
They need just brute strength that she's taking away from because she can't go fast enough to get away from it. So, yeah.
And she knows that they need Katniss as the symbol. And they need Peeta because without Peeta, they won't get Katniss.
Yeah.
And Finnick is the only one that can physically help both of them. So she's like, I'm doing it. It's me.
So we got out of the fog straight into monkeys. Like, I mean, they had barely recovered. And they had gotten, all the poison, the water helped the poison. And then they find these crazy baboons. That's the word I'm looking for. These just crazy baboons that are now attacking them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was
weirdly.
I feel like it was almost immediate. Like it was just as soon as we did see that the gas that stopped. So they're able to get through the section and then it stopped and stayed in that section. And then they were in the bamboo section or the baboo section. Oh my gosh. The monkey section.
Yeah.
And so here's the deal. We're going through crazy monkeys and then we're not only seeing that Mags had sacrificed herself, but one of the morphlings came out and saved Peeta from a monkey. And like they got seriously injured from that monkey in order to save Peeta. So like at this point, Peeta and Katniss are like, what the heck is happening? Like,
do you think like they knew that they needed to save Peeta, or were they just like, I can help, and then just didn't realize they were going to get killed in the process?
I think
because she was hiding.
Yeah, she was hiding really well.
So she wasn't like. So
she made a deliberate choice to come out in order to save Peeta. But
she wasn't actively seeking them out for the purpose of helping them either.
When she came out, she was. She did.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, she was hiding. Peeta happened to cross her path, and she saw, I could say hiding or I could help, but she didn't know that helping would result in her death.
Probably not, but also kind of, because I mean, it's a big old monkey with teeth, because I don't remember how the fight went exactly, but I feel like she like knocked it off but like rolled with it.
Mhm.
And so pretty much replacing Peeta with herself, where the monkey then had his arms and like face and everything.
So
I
you think it was
and stabbed.
premeditated?
So I think that the morphling was waiting. They saw that they were in trouble, and they saw, because they didn't come out right when the fighting started. They waited, and then they saw that Peeta was about to get, injured or bitten or whatever, and that's when they intervened and took over so that way they could save Peeta. I think it was a purposeful choice that
Well, I'm not
Victor had
disagreeing with
made.
that.
Okay.
I just they didn't go find Peeta and Katniss earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Like they weren't seeking them out
Yeah, exactly.
because
Like,
she was hiding. So how did they know that Peeta and Katniss were going to come across their path?
They didn't. I don't
That's
think
what I mean. So I don't think that, I think like she made the choice in the moment to save him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that they were waiting until whatever happened. Like they weren't actively going, like you said, they weren't actively going out.
My point is, you think that everybody, like these guys went into here thinking we have to save Peeta or Katniss. If it comes up, we'll save them.
Yeah. I think that they were a part of the broad
group
plan
of people.
that like, hey, if you have an opportunity to help, this is what needs to be done. And I think that they were okay with it. I'm not saying, because they weren't out there actively
If you
trying
have
to
an
find them.
opportunity to help,
Yes.
not we need you to do this. Like we need Joanna and Finnick to do this.
Yeah, I don't know where. So it could have been that like they knew of the plan and they weren't sure where they were going to be, and so it wasn't until that they were in the arena that they made that decision. It could have been that. So yeah, I'm not disagreeing that the person wasn't a part of it at all, or like they were fully in on it. I think that it was a choice that was made then, but they made that choice
They knew there
to
was
save
some
Peeta.
kind of plan, and maybe Peeta was a part of it.
I mean, they definitely knew about something that was going on. Yeah, I think through Haymitch.
But Gloss and What's-Her-Face didn't know.
Gloss and Glimmer?
Whatever.
I would assume that they didn't want to be allies with Peeta and Katniss, and so Haymitch wouldn't have shared the plan with them.
Okay.
Yeah. So then they figure out that it's a clock, and they meet up with Joanna and
Which
Beetee.
is super annoying that what's her partner, her buddy? Beetee
and Wyrus.
Which
they're
one
from
is the
District 3.
crazy one.
Wyrus.
Okay,
Yeah.
Why did Beetee not understand what she was talking about?
Like,
why did Katniss have to crack that code? They're buddies. They've been through a lot together. Like, how did they not know? How did he not know what she was talking about?
I mean, Wyrus has been through a lot, and like she had been. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, it's like even when you're talking to a toddler, you don't know 100% what they're saying.
But you can see where I'm coming from.
Yes, like it would be great if he could have interpreted it sooner, but
yeah, I think he should have, and I'm disappointed that he didn't.
But they had a plan. They were talking about following it out, just kind of figuring out what the next scene was, or what the next steps were.
I don't understand why she had to go with Joanna.
Okay.
I don't understand that. I also don't understand how does Wyrus ends up getting killed by one of the somebodies.
Yeah, she gets killed when they go to the cornucopia to like restock on or to get something. And then the District 1 and 2, the careers are there. And then a couple of them die. Like the brother and sister die. Wyrus dies.
Didn't love
the clock
that.
gets reset. So we don't know which pie piece we're in quite at the moment. And then after that, they hear the Jabberjays. Where they're hearing Prim,
which is literally just torturing.
Gale. And I mean, can
Annie,
you imagine an hour of being stuck in a place with birds, which have knives for faces, like flying around you, screaming your loved ones as they sound like they're being tortured?
No.
Like that one, honestly, like the
There's
monkeys
really
isn't
to
great.
Fight.
The poison isn't great. The blood rain sounds awful, but like the psychological and the like physical exhaustion from being stuck in that wedge for an hour is just cruel. It just sounds awful. I can't. even imagine what that would be like, because I would just go
I
crazy.
guess I don't understand how they're stuck in that wedge.
So we saw kind of that line from the poison.
Yeah.
And
but
so
they were able to cross it.
they crossed right before, like, the hour changed or something. And so, like, the bamboo, they only stayed in
when they
it.
got away from the monkeys, too.
No, they got to the beach. And so it's still in the wedge, but the stuff doesn't go to the beach. So, like, the blood rain wasn't on the beach.
Okay, I'm skeptical, but you have more knowledge of this than I do, so I'll take it.
So yeah, we've got Beedee's plan. I don't like that they were split up. I don't know why. I don't know if they were doing that so that way Katniss and Peeta didn't go off and do their own thing. They were still trying to, like, keep, tabs on them so that way they could get their tracker cut out and, like, try to move forward with the whole, like, Haymitch plan that Peeta and Katniss weren't aware of. And so I think that's generally why they split them up, so that way Peeta and Katniss couldn't go, they couldn't go off and kind of do their own thing.
It just seemed weird. And then all of a sudden, do we see Joanna punch Katniss and then cut into her hand? Like,
yeah, so the cord gets cut, and then she knocks, like, Katniss on the back of the head, cuts out her tracker, and then rubs blood on her throat to make it looks like
she's dead.
She eliminated Katniss.
Yep.
And then she runs off to get the District 2 couriers to follow her. And then Finnick comes over. See, that's the part where I don't know where Peeta is. I don't know if
because
Peeta
Finnick
just heard the cannon go off. The cannon didn't go off from someone else. But I think that Peeta, they felt the cord cut. And so I guess he instinctively ran after Katniss. And so they just missed each other in some way.
It was very confusing. I'm sure they meant it to be confusing, but it was not helpful.
Yeah. Didn't love that part. She's able, honestly, to figure out what Beetee was trying to do.
Is that what he was trying to do? Was to blow a hole in the roof?
So I think he couldn't reach the roof, so I think he was doing it to the side and then ended up electrocuting himself because he was trying to stab it before the lightning had struck.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it would try to blow a hole in something so people could come in and save them. It was unsuccessful. So she was able to figure out why he was using the wire and what the plan was for. So then she attached that before that, she had an option to kill Finnick. And then he reminded her, remember who the real enemy is. Like, this is, what's the game plan? Is it really me or is it the Capitol? What's that looking like? And so she's just having, again, so many emotions and so much filtering that she has to do so quickly.
Yep.
To where she blows open the dome and blows herself and Finnick and, like, Beetee back again because of all that electricity. And then she's taken up in a crane to a plane, and it's revealed that she's there with Haymitch and Plutarch, and there was this whole plan that had been done without her.
Again, manipulated.
Yeah. And I mean, just classic Katniss.
Yeah.
Poor girl. She has had so little control over her own life.
Yeah.
That it's just been.
Even with her dad dying, and then she had the responsibility to take care of her family.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't control that either.
Yeah. And so she's finding out that Haymitch didn't hold up his word. He didn't save Peeta. He saved her.
Which I think he tried, but...
Sure.
You know, he couldn't.
He definitely... I mean, the goal was to get them all out, for sure. Like, they wanted to get the rest of them, but it just wasn't an option at that point. And so they... it's just... I feel... I can't relate to her exactly because of all that she was through. I haven't been through that in my life.
What?
But I feel like I can relate to her on a level of her just being so upset and the screaming and, like, just the lashing out to the point where they have to sedate her because she's so upset and, like, she's just finding out these things just now. I mean, they've just put her through the ringer.
Well, and I'm sure she's thinking of all the things she might have done differently if she had known.
Yeah.
Like, how she would have handled it differently that could have saved Peeta.
Yeah. And then she's with Gale. She wakes up in a hospital and she's told that there's no more District 12. That it's over. That they've firebombed it. And we just see that feminine rage that boils up in her eyes, and how she's sad for a second, but then how she's just so angry at everything that's happened and what's taken place and the choices she has and hasn't had. And we just see her passion and just kind of are left to wonder what that's going to carry over into in the next film and what that's going to look like. So where were you on like the ending with that? Did you want to know more of like what's happening with it, or were you just kind of like, this is kind of a good ceiling spot
I was honestly
for this section?
super annoyed.
Okay.
Because I'm like, and this is it, which is a horrible place to end it. I don't know. It was not a great place to end it. I guess you feel a lot like Katniss does because you're super annoyed and frustrated because there's so much happening that you don't know or know what's going to happen. So I guess maybe that's good. That's maybe what they want you to feel when you're watching it. But that's kind of, I thought that was annoying. I would have liked to have spent more time getting to know the other victors. I would have liked to have spent more time in the arena.
Yeah.
Like figuring this out in a bigger way.
Sure.
But then, like, it was all a means to an end, and that's fine. But then it's like, there's a bigger story here. Which I always kind of wonder is that on purpose? Is this how, when she wrote the books, she outlined her books? There's a bigger story here? Or was it like, this doesn't feel like the right ending. We need to make this something more than it is. And then it becomes this whole other thing about an actual revolution. Or rebellion, whichever.
I feel like that's how the second book ends.
But
is that she
was
wakes
that
up
intentional when she was mapping these books out?
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Because it closes that chapter. Like it closes what that looks like. And now we're opening into what's the rebellion look like? Like what is District 12 is gone. Like what are the next steps for those people? And moving forward, I mean, her and Peeta are now separated. There's not going to be any more Hunger Games right now because the capital needs to control the districts and figure out what's going on. So we're essentially moving into a war.
Yeah, so when she started the first book and she's like, ooh, gladiator and war, let's do this book. And she's like, I think we're going to make this a trilogy. And here's what it's really going to be about. That's what I want to know. Like, have you watched interviews with that?
I have not.
Okay, I was just curious.
I'm not 100% sure about, like her total mapping of it. But I know, I would assume that she has a broad timeline of where she wanted things to go and to happen. Well, I know that she does because she came out with these 3.
And then like 3
she came out with the 2. We've got 2 prequels.
Okay.
So we know that she's got a broad sense of where the story is and what it looked like in that ending point, and then also how it started and what that looks like as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see more about that. Yeah, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen more about the victors and their relationships and their like how they won kind of stuff. And then it comes into this big thing and we're right back at the beginning with things that we know nothing about. And so we're basically starting over.
Yeah.
The only thing we know is she doesn't have Peeta and District 12 is gone. And so we're literally starting over in a new district with new everything. So
in the books, they do, on the train, they are going through old tapes of the victors that were in the past. And so they're watching the tapes of how they won. It is the capital, what they've only produced. So they're not seeing,
It's not the raw footage.
It's not the raw footage of like, in their games. And then what was produced from their games was a very different thing of like what happened. Because like even the capital punched up like how some of the victors died wasn't how they actually died, like in that taping. And so they did get to see some of that background. And yeah, I would, my dream is to have these done where we see every single detail in the books. Like, I love that because I just love the details so much.
So much.
But there's so much going on and there's so many things happening. And so, yeah, they get more of those details in the book of who they are, kind of what they're about, what their lives have looked like since then, and so forth.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite scene from this one? I know that we already kind of talked about that you do like the training scene, the training sessions.
Not particularly.
Okay.
I like the training stuff. But outside of that, nothing like that I really loved.
I thought Peeta had some good little quips in this one again, like when he talked about or Katniss had said at the beginning, like, oh, the Capitol, they've just helped us be closer more than ever. And he's like 25 feet, like, to be exact, because they're living so close now. And when he realizes that their like prep team is like drinking the liquid to make them sick so they can eat more food.
Is horrible. Yeah.
And his response is just like, well, we need to dance. Like, he's like, I'm not going to address this and go and do it because they have no idea. Like, they just don't get it. Like, they have
people. This is
no idea what's happening. And so he just, we all know I love Peeta. And
I think I would have liked to have seen more Joanna.
Yeah.
I think her character seems kind of fun.
Yeah. We do get just a little bit of her. I mean, she doesn't have any family left. Like, all of her people are dead because Snow has killed them all, essentially, because she hasn't
misbehaves.
Yeah, she hasn't done what he's needed or wanted, and so there's no one left that she has, and she's kind of kept herself that way. I think other than, like, literally the victors, and I think that's why she's so chummy with Finnick, and then potentially Haymitch, because these are people that he's not going to super hardcore go after at the moment. Well, I mean, it doesn't look like it for right now, but yeah.
The other thing is, we don't see, outside of Haymitch, we don't see anything about any of the other
mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even in the first one, we don't really know that there are other mentors. So it would have been kind of nice to have, like, seen a little more insight into that.
There's so much of this world that,
they're just relying on me to recognize that there are other mentors. But I think that if they had shown a little bit of it, it would have given you something to build off of. So,
yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised at this one how much they laid the groundwork for going up to the Hunger Games, the Quarter Quell, because we were only in the arena for, I mean, this was, an hour and 50-minute movie or whatever?
Not very long.
And the arena was like 25 to 30 minutes. Like, that's how long we were there. And so it just really set up just the rebellion and what's going on and just kind of what Snow was trying to do and what other people were doing behind the curtain. So, yeah. Yeah. So this one is not one of my favorite movies, but I still like it. I like the book better. Go out and read the books. But yeah, I will continue to watch this movie every now and then. It's just kind of like a little,
So when you do a rewatch, do you do all of them in order, or do you just pick the ones you like?
My flavor of OCD is all of them in order. So that is normally what I go for. And there's so few, like, there's only 4 movies right now. They're working, or no, there's 5 movies right now. And no. Yes, 5. And then they're working on the 6th. So it's not that many. I don't do it obviously all at once. Star Wars, I will switch it up. Sometimes I'll do it in release order. Sometimes I'll do it in chronological order.
Yeah.
But there's a few more to that one. So that's a bit of a undertaking. So for this one at this moment, it's not too bad. Did we already say if you would watch it again or no?
I won't watch it again.
You won't watch it again. Okay.
No, I didn't think there was enough that would make me want to watch it again. I was kind of annoyed at the end. So probably won't watch it again. I'm curious on the next ones. I don't know that it's a story that I need to have retold to me.
Sure.
That kind of thing.
There are a couple like things that I wanted to point out, but I was like, they don't really make Like it would just be me pointing it out because of what I know that's happening
Yeah.
in the future. And so I might be some points where I might reference back to it
Okay.
for this one. But yeah, it's not, I think, like a key piece to it moving forward just for your
It's
watching.
just a fun Easter egg, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We can give it another try.
Okay. Thanks for watching the second one and doing this podcast with me.
Yeah. You were very passionate about it, which I think is fun. But yeah, like this, I will say again, out of the dystopian-ish type genre, like
Yeah.
I think these movies were very well done.
I feel like the message really comes across clearly as well.
Oh, we didn't do that. So what does this movie teach you? What's your takeaway from this movie?
Oh, I feel like
'Cause
there's
it's
a
a big
couple
one.
of them. I feel like one of the big ones is just kind of like trusting the people that you're with. Because even though I think it is unfair to Katniss, like what they're doing with her, is like she just kind of has to know that Haymitch is doing these things with her best interest in mind.
Objection, Your Honor.
No. Okay.
Is he? Because in her they are sacrificing her for the greater good.
So they aren't they're sacrificing her childhood.
They are, yes. And that is a sacrifice of her.
But also from what I know of Haymitch from his book, he is not doing this maliciously.
So maybe there's this way that he's like, you're never going to be able to survive this unless we fight it. And so you have to fight it. Maybe. Like you're not going to be able to live this life.
There is no way for them to move forward unless something happens.
But and then why did we pick Katniss to be that person?
I don't think Katniss was picked. I think that this fell into Katniss's lap and the ball just kept rolling.
Because people intentionally kept picking her.
I think that the Barry statement was made and it wasn't one person that intentionally kept picking her. I think that rolled the ball for a lot of different things for it to happen. And she was able to do things that others were not.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm still saying people kept picking her, not any one person. Like people kept picking her.
I mean, she is the one that, because we'll talk about in the next one, like, you know, just thoughts of Katniss over Peeta and who could do the job better or what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But Katniss is the one that people relate to, and she is the one that people are getting behind. And I know it doesn't seem super fair, but there are people that are trying their best to protect her along the way. And she's just unluckily enough that the rebellion has started and has been able to move forward with her. And if you read Haymitch's book, it's going to make more sense. So,
I'm not reading the book.
That's fine. If
maybe
you
in the future.
read
maybe
the book.
Yeah.
I don't have a great answer to give you without just like spouting off stuff from
you
that.
have to think about just this movie and the takeaway from this particular movie.
So for this particular movie, I think it's probably just like friendship then with like Katniss and Peeta, and just like how you can be in really rough situations, but you can still be like kind and have a support system.
Yeah.
And have someone that has shared experience with you and they're going to have your back. And because that's shown over and over again. I mean, Peeta enters the games again. Like he's going to do whatever he can to protect his girl. And
Which do you think him entering the games is really going to help protect Katniss?
In Peeta's mind, it is.
But I know that he thinks that, but why does he think that?
Because then he's there doing
then
the protecting.
Can have an actual
he is actively.
impact.
He's not outside in the Capitol trying to get sponsors, and because he's never done that before. Haymitch already knows who to talk to and where to get sponsors from.
I will give you that, but I'm almost like the honey bunny advocating for his pregnant lover. I might, get some sponsorship.
I'm sure he would have gotten some sponsors. Yeah,
for
but
sure.
he didn't want. He wanted to be there on the ground floor, being hands-on, protecting.
And
her.
I only asked that because in the first one, he's like, I don't have skills.
That's just because he doesn't know. But he does.
That's what I'm saying.
He does have skills now. He knows.
I would buy the takeaway could be like, you can have friendships and people that support you even in really rough times. You just have to be looking for them. Or you have to open your eyes to the kind of support that they can provide. Because here you go. Effie can't really, save your life, but she can give you a gold pin and let you know that she's thinking about you.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can inspire hope. Or those types of gestures can inspire hope, I guess. So that would be I would partially agree with that takeaway.
And what she did for Peeta, which was for Peeta, but didn't end up being for him, was Peeta did to support Katniss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Effie made that happen. Like, she got that together. So that way it could happen. So, yeah.
Maybe you just relate to Effie because she's like...
She's a giver.
Yeah, and she's like trying to pull the strings behind the scenes to help.
And she's a manager.
Do the best.
And like,
mm-hmm.
I do relate to Effie. Not in like the shoes or the makeup.
Or the hair.
Or
literally
the
any other way.
But just her management style. And wanting to spruce things up. I mean, I think Effie could throw a party.
Oh, yeah.
She and I will open a wedding business together. It'll be great. Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
All right. Give us a shout out. Let us know what you think of the movie. Let us know what you love. Let us know what you hate. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.